Hey, I have a second channel, Cube Compium DDX. Hey everybody, so this video we're going to be comparing performance of a traditional hard disk drive versus a SATA solid state drive. So our test subject here is this upgraded HP Pavilion system. It's currently got a Athlon 2 dual core 250E CPU. It's got 4 gigs of DDR3 memory, integrated Radeon HD 4200 graphics, and it has a Western Digital Caviar Blue 3.5 inch 320 gigabyte hard drive. So we're going to start out by starting this machine up, getting a speed test of how long it takes for it to boot up from bootloader to a desktop, a loaded desktop. And then we're going to do a data swap. We're going to actually clone the drive from the hard drive to the SSD. I'm not going to actually cover that part here on this video, but I'm going to do a video in the future on how to actually do a data clone, because I'm just going to be using the Plexi for this one. I like to actually do a video in the future showing you how to do it from the host computer. But anyways, we can go ahead and pull up the stopwatch on my phone. That way we can get a good tally of how long it takes for this thing to start up. And of course right now we're seeing the desktop of the Plexi. So I'm going to switch over and start this thing up. Desktop is still loading, waiting on the taskbar. I'll stop it when I see the rest of the taskbar icons. As you can see, we are still loading. Alright, so about a minute 47 from, say, bootloader to a fully loaded desktop. And you can see, well, you can kind of see how things are a bit slow to respond. Like I'm just trying to bring up Task Manager and it's taking a little bit of time to get that up. It's still loading the disk information. So yeah, surprised that's not at 100%. Because the activity indicator on the computer is pretty much fully lit. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. I figured actually first, let's go ahead and load a couple of things. Like let's open up a browser. It's only takes a load up Chrome, which Chrome normally loads up pretty quick. But you can see it's definitely taking a little bit of time on this machine. Still loading. I still got to set up some things on this machine. But I had stopped because, well, the thing is so blasted slow. But now I got some SSDs in from Amazon. I'm going to pop one in. So simple things like pulling up the start menu, and you can see I do have OpenShell installed, but here, for example, the actual Windows 10 start menu. It's just you can definitely tell there is some lag. when you're trying to do simple things. So that being said, I'm going to shut this down, and it's going to actually, yeah, it's going to not do a complete shutdown, but it should still be okay. Usually what happens is if it can't resume from its normal shutdown, it's still shutting down. If for any reason it can't resume from its normal shutdown, it ends up, I guess you can say, crashing and restarting, and then starting up normally. We are still running. Yeah, I didn't actually get the timer going for the shutdown, but you see we're still running. Disk activity indicator is, well, you can see it was lit until it shut off. Alrighty, so I'm going to actually swap out this hard drive for the SSD, and I'm going to clone the data using the Plexi over there. Okay, so I got the data copied over to this SSD, and just for the time being, I got it just sitting loose inside the machine. Haven't even installed the front cover back on it yet, or the side panel. I'm waiting on some 2.5 to 3.5 inch adapters to arrive from Amazon, and once they arrive, I'll be able to permanently install it in here. But let's go ahead and see what kind of numbers we can get here. So I'll go ahead and get her stopwatch back up. So it's showing 1:48. I think it's like 1:46 to 1:47 to be more exact. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that, and let's go ahead and give this thing a start up. Here's what I was saying earlier about the fast startup. This is why it crashed. It's trying to resume from a fast startup, or it's trying to do a fast startup and it couldn't do it because of, well, we completely redid the storage. So I'm going to restart my timer. I'm just going to go ahead and stop it, and you can see it's I already tell it's actually running a whole lot faster. Oh, it tried to do updates. Go figure. What a shocker. Okay, so I'll let it start up, and then I did a shutdown. That way we can do a fast startup, because that's actually what it did on the last boot up. That being said, let's go ahead and start up again. Now I can tell you, looking at this, the disk activity indicator is flickering and going out. It's not quite as active. So we're still waiting on this load. There's the desktop. You can see we've already got the icon. So I'm going to say 37 or 38 seconds. So now if we was working with something more powerful, like let's say a quad core, like a Phenom 2, anything like that, we would have seen an even better improvement in boot time. But of course the CPU is just a little dual core Athlon 2, so that's kind of be expected. So definitely an improvement even on a system that's not super powerful. And we can see that Windows 10 is installing junk for us. I mean, I didn't want to have Spotify put on this thing. Let's go and take care of that real quick. So yeah, I must say, even on a system that's not super powerful, the SSD can definitely make a difference. But let's go and pull up Task Manager. There's definitely much more noticeable snappiness to this thing. You can see the disk not doing much at all. Not doing much at all. So yeah, guys, that's one example of going from a hard disk drive to an SSD. And although this definitely ain't the best example of a computer to show you, I guess, the performance of an SSD, because again, as I mentioned, if we had like a quad-core CPU and maybe some more memory, there would have been a more noticeable difference. But heck, even on something like this, I mean, I'd still say that the SSD was worth it, considering the 240 gig SSD in here. Let's go ahead and pull up this PC. The 240 gig SSD that's in here was in fact just 20 bucks. So I can see that our disk cloning utility decided to assign drive letters to the drives. Here's a quick way to maybe hit manage. Here's a quick way to take care of that. Go into disk management. And what we need to do here is change drive letter and path. Just hit remove. Say yes to that. That will take off that drive letter set way. We're not seeing it here. Not sure what local disk Q here is. I'm not really sure about that. But anyways, guys, there you have it. Going from hard drive to an SSD in a pretty low-end system to today's standards, but still, I mean, you can see we definitely had an improvement in performance there. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that wraps up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to CubeComputer channel, and be sure to tick the bell. That way you get notified of new video posts. Also, I recommend following CubeComputer Company on Facebook. A link is in the video description. In addition to computer tech videos, I have a second channel, CubeCompMTDX. Links are available at the end of this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching and your support.